Well, welcome to another edition of In the Pocket. All thanks to Palmerbet, our great sponsors. And, it is also thanks to this man, the legend himself in Peter Spida Everett, of course, former Hawk, former Swan, former Saint, just an all-round superstar. And Spida, as I say, good evening, mate. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I tell you what, we are top of the wars, and the AFL couldn't have asked for a better round. It was terrible for the tipsters. It was a tough round to try and get your head around, but if the AFL could make it any closer, it would be brilliant. So, look, it's so many clubs still fighting for that top four, so many clubs fighting for the top eight. We love footy. We love it in general. There's so much still to come out.
Spot, I want to ask you, I want to cut straight to the chase, mate. Been a lot spoken about Max Gawn and Brody Grundy.
Yeah.
Being a big ruckman yourself, mate, what's your take on it, Spy? Like, did you, when you were the number one ruckman, mate, you wanted to be out there, you wanted to be playing, you wanted to be competing, for as many minutes as you could.
Absolutely.
It never really ends well, does it, when you try and share that workload?
No, it doesn't. You've got one number one ruckman and somebody who'll come in and be the second tier if that's a younger guy coming through, especially when you're towards the end of your career. But when you've got two A grade ruckman, two All Australian, you can't fit them in. And for me, look, it was pretty brave at the time. But at the start of the year when Gawn went down and you had Grundy, it was a master stroke. It was like, how good's that? We need him. So look, as we know, we don't know what's going to play out in the next 6 to 8 weeks and come into finals. But at this stage, I don't think Brody Grundy will be at Melbourne next year. But at the same time, there's so many other clubs that could do with him. He's got a couple of really good years in him. He can offer so much. Imagine him at Port Adelaide. Feeding
West Coast.
Or West Coast, feeding the midfield of that. They'll absolutely have a dream run, and they'll get him at a good price. So, I don't think Brody Grundy's overly stressed about it. I think he'd be a bit upset because you don't want to be traded around every year either. But at the same time, I think he's got a bit of value. So he's still got a bit of footy left in him.
And Spy, you were one of the real exceptions, and I'm not pumping up your own tyres here, but you could play forward, mate. And that I suppose is a little bit of the difference. Whereas someone like Brody, he's just spent the majority of his life playing ruck. It's a tough gig to try and go back and start developing yourself when you're a big man as a key.
Yeah, it is. And it's an art going forward as well. Like you look at certain ruckmen are able to do it and certain aren't. So you got to really know how to lead and be able to block. And so there's a fair bit to it. It's not just putting your hands up in the air and hoping it sticks. It's leading and leading with a little bit of pace as well. So there's an art. And look, that's the fun I think of being able to be a big man is being utilised either forward or back. And there's a couple of guys out there, and you look at most players. There's a lot of players that come into the AFL as a forward. They end up playing back. Plenty of backmen end up playing forward. So no different to a ruckman. I think for all those young ruckmen coming through, don't really just rely on that one position. Learn other positions, even though you're 6'8", 6'10". Look at Big Coxie at Collingwood. Can do it both.
Yeah, that's right. Try and learn your craft elsewhere as well. Hey, talking about teams that are hitting a bit of form at the moment, I went down to this game on Saturday night, Spied, and the Cats absolutely demolished the Essendon Football Club. They were shell-shocked, the Bombers, and it was just a demolition job for mine. They were awesome, the Cats.
Yeah, they were. They were magnificent. And, you go to their list, they've still got a couple to come back in, but they were fantastic. And this is what I get with them. It doesn't matter. Like, Gary Rowan kicked 4 the other day. Then Tom Hawkins steps up. Stengel will step in there. They've just got so many avenues. And their back six are just so powerful as well. And then, you got a great midfield of young and old. So they have got everything going for them. And, we wrote them off at the start of the year. And how many times do we do it to, a premiership team? And then suddenly they know they've just got to get right in September because nobody wants to play them come September when they're, pretty fit, up and running. So, it says a lot about, the Cats, but it says a lot about the Bombers too. The Bombers have had a cracking year and maybe just starting to feel the pinch. There's a few clubs starting to feel the pinch. St Kilda's feeling the pinch. Adelaide's starting to feel the pinch. It is a long season when you start to got a lot of young kids. And, I think what Ross Lyon said, he needs the Saints for one more preseason. I think Brad Scott needs the Bombers for one more preseason. So, unfortunately, Chris Scott won the Scott Cup and he got to sit at home and have the roast dinner with Mum while Brad Scott wasn't invited.
Hey, talk about teams too that are in not bad nick, and they're really starting to string some games together. And we laughed a little bit last week. We thought the Palmer Bet boys might have had these odds back to front, and that was Carlton v Port Adelaide. And the money continued to come, didn't it, for the Blues? So they were all over it, to be honest. And that was a demolition job again by the Carlton Football Club. And all of a sudden, their season's turned around, hasn't it, Spide?
Oh, have they left it too late? It's just great. I've got a couple of mates that are Blue supporters, and you're finally seeing them smile and finally see them beat a top team. They beat West Coast, and everyone's going, you haven't beaten anyone. You haven't beaten anyone yet. All right, we'll wait until after the Port Adelaide game. And not only beat them, absolutely spank them. Like, they gave them an absolute whopping. And, but Port Adelaide been up for a long time. It'll be really interesting this week to see how they respond against the ladder leaders, because Ken Hinkley, even though they're sitting at the top, they know his job's still sitting in there. He's still coaching for his future. So there's still a lot to unfold at Port Adelaide. But the Blues, they look good. Cripps was starting to break open packs and run with intent, and Curnow, and you got to think this is with Harry Mackay going down in the first quarter. So they did a magnificent job.
Hey, which side might they displace? Is it your Saints that might be under the most pressure in that top 8? Do you reckon, Spide?
Absolutely, yeah, I think so. But I wouldn't underestimate.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and they've just got way too many injuries. They need Big King up forward. You've got a couple of kids trying to control their full line, no memory. So they have really been, up against it the last few weeks. So you do feel sorry for them. Another preseason will be good, but I still think. Yeah, GWS are in good shape.
Yeah, they are.
The Tigers. What about the Tiggy train?
Mate,
they're just ticking them off.
Just trying to keep a lid on it, mate, of the Tiggy train at the moment.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah. No,
they are. They're starting to find form. There's 5 teams there that are starting to find a bit of form.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a cracking finish, that is for sure. Let's have a look at some futures market, Spide. All thanks to the team at Palmer Bet. Brownlow medal, this has been turned on its head, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks. So Nick Dacos is our favourite at $1.35. Now, that is short for mine. Christian Petrarca at $6. Now, he was in the votes on Friday night again, whether he gets a 2 or a 3, him or Max, I reckon.
Well, he was, and the week before.
Yep, spot on. Marcus Bonampelli's at $9.50. Lockie Neal at $15. Timmy Taranto at $15. Jordan Dawson at $18. Spide, I must admit, I look at these markets and I think to myself, gee, you're only one suspension. It can be a little trip or a hand or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's a short way home, isn't it, at $1.35?
And that's the only thing. And even I know that, Nick Dacos is probably 6 votes in front of, his closest competitor at the moment if you do a Brownlow tracker throughout the year. But, Connor Rosie, he's still at $41. So, top 3 for that. There's a couple of really good value bets when you're starting to look at, top 3 or where they're going to finish. But you're right. You just have to, injuries. There's so much still to play out. So, I think it is very, very short. Petrarca's starting to come into it as well, as we said, with the Bont. So there is a little bit of value there, but still I think, you got to follow those teams that are still going to win more than they're going to lose. And, if Dacos gets one more, he could sit on the sidelines drinking pina coladas and he'd still win it.
Yeah, put the queue in the rack for a couple of weeks and get the job done. Hey, Coleman Medal now. This is another interesting market and short enough for mine. So Charlie Curnow's at $2. He's currently sitting on 51 goals for the season. Texie Walker's at $3. He's at 50 goals. Nick Larkey at $8. Tommy Hawkins at $10. He's at 45 goals for the season. Jeremy Cameron, $15. And Joey Danaher at $18. I reckon the Tomahawk is the value here at $10 because he's in great nick at the moment. And the Cats, if they continue this rich vein of form, he's going to be a big player in that, isn't he, Spide?
Well, and plus Tommy will have to trip over Jeremy Cameron if he's thinking about making a comeback just until the home and away season finishes, because you know what Jezza will do when he comes back. But absolutely. And you got to think, I think Larky's had an unbelievable year. That's a cracking result to be right up there in the Coleman. It's a team that's, sitting second bottom on the ladder. But
absolutely,
the value, I think the two runners for me are the top 2, Big Tex and Curnow. Now, Curnow plays West Coast this weekend. How many does he kick? Because Big Tex plays West Coast last round. So you know what's going to happen. They will feed Big Tex. And we saw what he did last time. He kicked 10 and he was up and about. So he'll go in there absolute chock-a-block, full of confidence. So, yeah, there's a bit of value. There's a little bit of value and a bit of fun still to have around the Coleman Medal. Absolutely.
Hey, Rising Star Odds, Will Ashcroft's our favourite at $1.50, all thanks to Palmerbet. Harry Sheasel at $3.75, Mitchy Owens at $4.80, and Jai Miss at $10. And we with Will Ashcroft, mate. He's a gun, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a gun. He's the son of a gun. He's a gun, and my money be going on Mitch Owen. If you look at a player
Mitchy Owens
that has absolutely, if you look at all those players and what they've been able to produce for their teams this year, I think Mitch Owens is the rising star at this stage. He's played forward. He's played undersized. He's had to be the key forward. He can play multiple positions, and he's able to do it. He's never really lowered his colours. He's always really had a good crack. Will Ashcroft had a bit of a quiet patch throughout the middle of the season. He's starting to come back a little bit more now. Sheasel, yeah, he's been pretty consistent. But for me, Mitch Owens has had a cracking year, and at $4.80, I'd be having a look at that every day of the week.
Righto, I like it, mate. So a little bit of value for our Palmerbet followers, Spy, which is what we're looking for, mate. Now let's have a look at this weekend's round of matches and some absolute rippers, and none better than Friday night footy at Marvel Stadium. It's Essendon taking on the Western Bulldogs. Both teams coming off the back of losses last week. Of course, the Bulldogs go down to the Swans. Essendon got absolutely trounced by the Cats. Head-to-head here, the Bombers $2.10, Western Bulldogs at $1.77. Essendon plus 3.5 at $1.90, Western Bulldogs minus 3.5 at $1.90. I reckon this is a massive, massive game, Spide, because I reckon the loser is going to all of a sudden just feel like they are under siege to remain in the top 8.
Yeah, I think they're, as they say, they'll be tighten up down back if they lose this one. And that'll be, and I think that's why the Bulldogs will get over the line. I think the Bulldogs got a little bit more experience right now. They're a little bit more mature as a team. They've got a very solid back six, and their forward line is just unbelievable because if Norton's not kicking goals, you got Waitman kicking goals, then you got Hugo Hagen standing up. They've got so many avenues. You got the Bont, who is, I believe, the best outside of Toby Green player in the comp at the moment, in Nick Dacos. But the Bont, when he gets it from anywhere, through the center of the ground, he delivers it 50 metres on the chest of someone. It's just unbelievable to watch. So for me, I'm going to stick with the Bulldogs, and I reckon they'll win pretty well.
Righto, mate. I'm with you. I just can't see, after seeing Essendon on Saturday night, I can't see them turning it around in the space of a week. They were disappointing for mine. Hey, Richmond taking on Hawthorn Saturday, 1:45 at the MCG. Head-to-head, the Tigers $1.35. Hawks at $3.23. At the line, Richmond minus 18.5 at $1.90, Hawthorn plus 18.5 at $1.90. Hawks obviously playing for a little bit of pride in the back half of the year, and the Tigers need to win to keep these slim little final 8 chances alive, and they need a bit of percentage too as well, Spide.
Absolutely. Danger game really for Richmond, because we know the Hawks, if they get to a good start, Hawthorn get their back up. They've got Sicily back. They got they got some really good young kids. We've said it all year. They got some good forwards, and I reckon the weather will play a fair bit. And if this rains and it brings it down to an absolute arm wrestle, I reckon the Hawks are right in this 100%, because the Tigers, we know what they want to do. They want to get it forward and they want to run in numbers. Now, Hawthorn can stop that and just slow that down a little bit. I reckon they're a chance. But for me, I've done the circle around the mighty Tigers. Shy Bolton, he's found that good form. Dusty, he got let off. He was very, very lucky.
Very lucky.
No,
he can't sack a
superstar for that. No. He's won Colemans and Brownlows. He can do what he wants at this end of his career.
Yeah, no, he's enjoying life at the moment too, I reckon. He's doing
absolutely.
Hey,
Richmond for me.
Richmond, good spot. Hey, Carlton v West Coast, Marvel Stadium, Saturday, 2:10 p.m. Head-to-head, Blues $1.02. West Coast at $15 on the road. At the line, Carlton minus 65.5 $1.90. West Coast minus 65, plus 65.5 $1.90. Spy, the demolition job that the Blues done on the power at Marvel Stadium last week, I think that the 65.5 line is the way to play. They're going to absolutely the West Coast.
Yeah, you'd think this would be a 100-point win.
I think
with the confidence they've come out with.
Yeah.
As good as Eagles have got some very good players, but Carlton have got their tail up. Curnow, some people are saying he's going to kick 7. I'd back him for 5 plus. I reckon he'll kick 5. They've got a couple of West Coast just haven't got the defensive player, and I don't want to see him play Oscar Allen down on Curnow either. Play Oscar Allen up forward.
He's a
That's
forward,
where
mate.
his job is.
Yeah,
absolutely. You still have a target. When it gets up there, he still looks dangerous, and you still need to be able to kick goals. So Carlton easy.
Yeah, Blues easy for mine as well. Hey, Brisbane v Geelong. All of a sudden, this game is an absolute belter. Saturday afternoon, 4:35 p.m. at the Gabba. The heat up there, what will it be? About 22 degrees on Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely, 23 degrees and sunshine. Magnificent.
Magic. Head-to-head, the Lions $1.48. The Cats 2.66. That's unbelievable. Brisbane at the line, minus 13.5, $1.90. Geelong plus 13.5, $1.90. Cats are in great nick at the moment. I reckon they are the value of the round. I know that Brisbane step it up a notch on their home deck, but I was disappointed in Brisbane that last kind of 10 or 15 minutes on Friday night. Spy, that was a real disappointment. That was their chance. It was a line in the sand kind of moment to get that MCG hoodoo off the back and all that kind of stuff. And they just didn't give a yelp, mate. There was some pretty ordinary efforts for mine.
Well, they didn't give it a yelp in the first half, and then the first quarter, and then they suddenly come back and they get themselves in a winning position. Well, it should have been an absolute laydown was there, and they allow that to go as well. But look, Lions are better at home. Look, I don't know, and what Lions are going to turn up? That's the question. There's just they've got a couple of quiet players that are down on form at the moment that need to step up. The Cats are all firing, but can they fire like that for 2 weeks in a row? Packed house. I'm going to stick with the Lions.
Yeah. I was impressed with the Cats last week, Spide.
And you should have been. And as you say, I don't reckon, for me, I don't know how Palmerbet come up with the odds, but $1.88, $1.92, you have the Cats. The Cats are overs by far.
Yeah, I agree, mate. 2.66. The Cats head-to-head. It's as simple as that.
That's a juicy cat.
You want to take them 1-39, you'll get $3.20 or something. So that'll be the way you'll be playing. Hey, Fremantle taking on Sydney Saturday 7:40 p.m. at Optus Stadium. Head to head, the Dockers $1.90, Sydney $1.90. So they can't split this one at the line. Minus 0.5 $1.90, plus 0.5 $1.90. They can't split this one, Spot. No. I reckon the Swans have got a hell of a lot more on the line than the Fremantle Dockers, and I reckon.
Well, that's what I would have thought. Done. I would have thought that too. I thought Sydney, last week, they're starting to get their mojo back. Tapley, he's doing a couple of 100s after he kicks every goal. So tongue out, hand up. So what are they calling him? The trash panda. So they weren't allowed to call him trash the tip rat. So he's called the trash panda now. Tapley. Yeah. So look, and all their players are starting to get that run and that ability and that hard workload of Sydney, what we expect of Sydney each and every week. And it was great to see. Big shout out to Johnny Longmire coaching 300, and just their celebration after the game was fantastic. So for me, you can't pick the Dockers with any confidence at all. What they've shown for the last month
too hot and cold. Yeah.
You sit there and go, you know what? You can't pick them. You've got to take Sydney, even in the bigger grounds. They're still going to be fit enough to run. So I'll be taking the Swans.
Yeah, I just reckon the Swans got so much. They've still got a slim chance of making it, to be honest, Sport.
Absolutely.
So, they've got a hell of a lot to play for. This game's going to be an absolute belter. Saturday night, Port Adelaide v Collingwood. At the Adelaide Oval, 7:40 p.m. is kickoff. The Power at $2. Collingwood at $1.84. At the line, Port Adelaide plus 2.5, $1.90. Collingwood minus 2.5, $1.90. This is going to be a beauty, mate. Two teams. Obviously, the Power coming off a really disappointing loss last week.
Yep.
How they respond this week, that's going to be the key, isn't it, Spide? Because over the last couple of seasons, the Power have kind of done this in patches, haven't they? And then back half of the year, they have taken the foot off the pedal. Are we going to see it again?
Well, and Hinkley will be as nervous as everybody else. And those players, and this is that mental game. This is that edge that Collingwood's going to have over them. It's like doing going to a playoff hole with Tiger Woods. You're just mentally gone before you even get to the tee. So, look, as bad as they wouldn't have won a bad game coming into the Collingwood game. So it's going to take a lot. When you look at Collingwood, I think both sides will be absolutely saying this is their chance. Win this, we get a home final. Collingwood, if we win this, we play every game at the MCG in September. We don't want anything. All we got to do is win this weekend, and we're guaranteed that.
Yeah.
So, this for both teams will be saying exactly the same. Port Adelaide, win this, and we got home finals. We'll play 2 games in Adelaide before we go to the MCG. So it's going to be massive. For me, I still believe Collingwood will get the chocolates. I think, at the moment, their ability to go forward and have, different options, their midfield, we know, you talk all over the park, and, Darcy Moore still in really good shape down back, and the way he structures them up, I just think, even though it is in Port Adelaide, it will be a huge one. And the black and white stripes and the prison bars or no prison bars and Koshy, and that's all going to be up in the air, and there's going to be a heap of slagging off, and I'm going to love it, but I'm going to take the Pies.
I think you're right. I just reckon the Power have got just too many good players out at the moment. And I think depth is possibly their big issue. So, I think you can't tip against Collingwood at the moment. And you touched on Darcy Moore, just the best intercept mark in the competition in 2023. So, had a magnificent season as skipper. That is for sure. Hey, this game's going to be an interesting one too, Spide, because we quite often see it. And same thing happened last week against your Saints. When a coach gets the sack, they come out. They quite often play St Kilda, and same thing happened last week. So Big Steve King got the result for their Gold Coast Suns, but they take on the Giants at Manuka Oval, head-to-head. The Giants $1.50, Gold Coast $2.56, GWS at the line minus 11.5 $1.90, Gold Coast plus 11.5 $1.90. I must admit, Spot, I actually reckon the Suns are a bit of a smoky here.
Yeah, I've picked them. I've picked the Suns. As much as I like the Giants, I just think a win, the new coach, and that win would have given them a lot of belief in what they're able to do. And we saw not Witts and Rowell and Anderson get a lot of the footy, King being a vocal point, but, other players really step up. Powell stepped up down back. Ainsworth, chipped in. Lakosha. So now they're starting to get a little bit of input from other players rather than their top 4. So, when you look at GWS, who are in really good shape at the moment, but again, I just think, the Gold Coast Suns have got a little bit of belief about them at the moment. They won't make the finals, but they were able to, upset a couple of teams. And obviously Kingy would love them to win because puts his name up in lights as well. But, they haven't got a bad team. They've just unfortunately underperformed. So, for me, I reckon the Suns, they just got to try and keep Toby Green quiet, and they're a little way there. Him and Coniglio, you'd be half a chance, but I had a mate go and watch Toby Green on the weekend, and he said he is an absolute superstar.
Yeah, we keep saying it, mate. If he was playing in a Melbourne team, mate, he'd be spoken about so high. He'd be like Dusty Martin, I reckon.
He said just the stuff he does off the ball, and the blocks and that he puts on, so then Jesse Hogan's free to get a ball. Like he said, the work rate he does off the ball to help his team is just remarkable.
Yeah, unreal. Hey, and a little whisper getting around down here in Victoria, mate, that Hardwick's already been on the phone to you, mate. If he gets a job, you might be the ruck coach over the Gold Coast Suns. So,
watch
the space, I'd say. Just keep watching. As long as you keep doing the Palmer bet each week, mate, that'll be
absolutely. Myself and Dimmer, see us. We'll be surfing together soon. Hey, board.
Hey, Melbourne v Adelaide Sunday, 3:20 p.m. at the MCG. Head-to-head, the Demons $1.35. The Crows $3.25 at the line. Melbourne minus 18.5 $1.90. Adelaide plus 18.5 $1.90. Great victory last week to the Demons, mate. They were good in patches, start and finish of a game. They were ordinary in the middle for mine.
Yeah, but still Petrarca, getting his hand on the ball. Haven't got Oliver there at the moment. He'll be ready in a couple of weeks. But, Petrarca getting the job done. And, Viney's still putting his head over the ball. But, the matchup you want to see here. Adelaide's got some really dangerous forwards. But, Steve Mayon, Big Tex, is going to be a cracker. So that's why when you're looking at the Coleman Medal, you'd expect, May to really look after Tex and give him a chop out. So I think Melbourne wins this. Adelaide's just gone off the boil a little bit, as we spoke about. A younger team, a long season. They're going to start putting their older, experienced players in the midfield. But can they match it with Melbourne's experience and depth? Probably not.
Yeah, right. I'm with you on that one, mate. I think that Melbourne will just get the job done. Hey, St Kilda v North Melbourne Spide. Sunday 4:40 at Marvel Stadium. I don't reckon there's going to be a massive crowd here, mate. But the Saints head to head $1.20. North Melbourne at $4.60 at the line. St Kilda minus 29.5 $1.90. North Melbourne plus 29.5 $1.90. Saints get the job done here, Spide.
You
Surely.
do, but it's still nervous. You know, you've seen the Saints what they did with West Coast, allowed them in, ended up running off in the second half. But yeah, they get the job done. I feel sorry for North Melbourne at the moment. They just can't get a trick. They just can't get really near it. So the Saints should get that job done. They'll be disappointed if they don't. But I reckon they get the job done. $1.20, I'd be a little bit nervous at, but I'd be looking at the line. I think
Oh,
yeah.
mate.
You wouldn't be lining up on $1.20.
St Kilda supporters are like Richmond back in the kind of mid 2000s, mate. We used to get nervous playing those teams. Hey, listen, Spide.
Yep.
Last week, mate, you went.
Hang on.
Now you went 4 out of 9. You were 1
Yeah.
from 6, and you backed up with the last 3 games. You got us home with a bang. But
Yeah, Sundays have been good for me.
Sundays have been good. It's Sunday Spider Day, they're calling it. You're 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. So Rankin, Wood, Ugle-Hagan, and Rowan to kick 2 goals each. Wood and Ugle-Hagan got a goal each. So you went.
They kicked a couple of points.
All right. So the Palmerbet boys and guys here are just going, come on, Spide, pull your socks up, mate.
Yeah, I know.
We win on the road. So the Saints let you down. GWS, Brisbane, and Bulldogs to win. So you went 1 from 4.
Yeah, but hang on.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs get done by 2 points.
2 points. Lions by.
Right. Lions a point.
Yes. Actually, you're stiff there, mate, to be honest.
So you can't tell me, come on.
Stiff there,
like,
mate. I'm actually with you.
I know.
I'm actually
roll the dice. If it goes the other way, I'm a superstar.
Mate, exactly. And we're only talking a kick between it. Hey, listen, what do you got for us? Let's go to pick 9 first, big fella.
Yeah, pick 9. Look, and it's so last week the pick 9 was about 300. I'd love to get the Palmer bet to see what the actual bet 9 would have paid last week. Because you had Carlton over Port Adelaide, you had some really big wins. Yeah. So that would have been an interesting bet. But here I go for this week. I'm going the Dogs.
Easy,
Yep. Dogs into Richmond.
Yeah.
Carlton. The Lions over the Cats. Sydney. Collingwood to beat Port Adelaide. The Suns.
Put some value into
Melbourne. I'll take Melbourne over Adelaide. And, of course, the Saints to bring us home on the Spida Sunday.
And the Cats put a bit of value into that too, mate. That is huge, actually. So for the pick 9 Spide, $93.99. All thanks to bet. That is good. That is solid.
Yeah.
Right. And there's only a couple of kind of outsiders there, to be honest. So
yeah, and I always like to take the multis, just 6 of them to win. Any 6 to win. All that.
Right. What else you got for us, mate? What else?
I've got one. It's called At the Line. There's a couple of different ones I want to do, but I'll throw 2 major ones at you. And the one is at the moment at the line, or that's what I think.
All on the line.
All on the line. Yeah, all on the line at the line. I'm going to take the Dogs.
Yep.
Tigers.
Yep.
Pies.
Yep.
And the D's.
Righto, mate. So that's going to get you $13, just over 13. All right. So that's
all at line.
Yeah, that's nice little odds, mate. They're all at $1.20. I like it. Yeah, beautiful.
Yep.
Anything else for the Palmer bet followers?
Yeah, you got to go. Keep on going.
I knew there was something else, mate. I knew there was something else, big fella.
Keep on kicking goals. So guys who are in good form, I've decided to jump on them. I said, you know what? You're in good form. Chug along. So I want Shy Bolton Tigers 2 goals.
Yep, he's in great nick. Yep.
Casbolt, the Suns.
Great nick.
He's in good form. Yep. 2 goals. Petrarca, can't get any better. He's on fire. 2 goals.
Yep.
And the little trash panda, Papley, 2 goals.
2 goals plus. So for those 4 players, so Shea Bolton, Casbolt, Petrarca, Papley, that's going to get you $13, Spide. So you go. $13 mark again. That's actually a nice little bet, mate, to have.
Yep. Keep chugging along at $13. That's all we want.
No, love it, mate. Absolutely love it. Hey, and as we always say, download that Palmerbet app. It's really simple to get around, easy to navigate, but gamble in a responsible manner and always think about what you're actually really gambling with. That is the key message, isn't it, big fella?
Absolutely. Yeah, enjoy it and, make sure, you don't go overboard. But if you do want to have another good bet, I know something that's up for sale. There is a Commonwealth Games up for sale. If anyone has got a big enough backyard, I don't know. If anyone's got somewhere, they can just hold her. All we need is 100-meter track, okay? Because we want 100 meters and we want the 100-meter swim. That's it.
Do you know what though, mate? I don't get it because why don't we just have it in Melbourne? We've got like everything there. Like it just doesn't make sense. It's absolutely
Melbourne's losing. Melbourne's starting to lose their so-called sporting capital of Australia.
Cut it out, mate. We're the kings down here, big fella.
They're starting to lose it
in the world down here, mate. We're absolutely and the best NRL team, the Storm. We're flying down here.
Okay, we'll wait and see because at the moment
we'll shift you back here at some stage, mate. We'll get you back here.
Adelaide, the new home of sport for Australia.
Well, they had the live golf. They've had everything. Hey, listen, mate, I have to apologise. I have got the man flu this week and the old voice has been a bit croaky, buddy, so I apologise. But listen, have a wonderful week, Spide. We're really getting down to the nitty-gritty of the AFL season, mate. It's going to be a sensational season to finish as well, and I can't wait to see what the last kind of 7 or 8 weeks play out, big fella. But, mate, you have a wonderful week, and we'll talk next week.
Absolutely. Get yourself right because you may as well be crook now because you don't want to be crook in September.
Correct, mate.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.